Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Revival of America podcast. This is Jenny. I'm the owner and the host of the Revival of America. Today we have Field McConnell in the house. So please, everybody, if you have a question for Field McConnell, please feel free to raise your hand, and at some point I will unmute your mic. Otherwise, you can put your comment or not comment, just keep it to questions underneath his logo on the wall, and we will read those at some point in this podcast as well. Also, too, everybody, please be careful who you are following, what you're putting into your mind. It is cray out there, guys. A lot of black pilling, a lot of doom and gloom, a lot of BS. So if you don't have a strong mind, everybody, please don't get caught up in that bullshit, because it's bullshit. It's noise. Just do not pay attention to it. Your mind is a powerful thing, and it can be. I'm seeing a lot of people that have been in this movement on this side, going through the motions of it all, and now they're hearing all the black pilling, the doom and gloom. They're kind of going to that side. That's a scary thought, everybody. So please be careful. It can be very dangerous. We know these infiltrators are in our rooms and in our chats, whatever it may be. So please, everybody, be careful who you follow. Also, to everybody, if you come in late to the podcast, you can listen to the podcast on the podcast host as well as the social medias. We are being listened to in over 100 countries, everybody, so we are making some noise. And the podcast hosts are iHeartRadio, Spotify, Anchor, Apple, Google, Breaker, Pocket Cast, Podbean, Riverside, and Amazon Music. Social medias, they are all verified except for my YouTube, because that is a week old. I just opened that. And then my True Social. I'm still waiting for verifications on those. I'm doing that for you guys, everybody, so you guys can know that those are my legitimate accounts. But these ones here that I tell you, even that they're not verified, those are my legitimate accounts. So they are Jenny Jareed Facebook, at Jenny_Jareed X, formerly Twitter, at JJareed Rumble, at JJareed True Social, at JJareed Instagram, the Revival of America right here on Telegram, and the Revival of America YouTube. Oh, and then I forget, my TikTok is at the official Jenny Jareed. So, or Jay Jareed, I think. It's one of those. That just tells you how much I don't get over there on TikTok. But I'm trying, everybody. I'm just crazy busy. But anyway, also to everybody, go check out the website, fill out the newsletter so you can get the weekly updates on the shows as well as the guests. And that is therevivalofamerica.com. And then last but not least, if you have a story or a journey to tell, please feel free to reach out to me at therevivalofamerica@yahoo.com. We'll get your voices and your story heard. Because remember, everybody, your story, your voice matters, and it's going to be your story that's going to help us in our create the new world that we are walking into. So with that, everybody, we will wait for Mr. Field to come in. I'm going to text him and make sure he's still on his way. And we'll get started here shortly, everybody. Hang in there. All right, where's Mr. Field? Okay, guys, I just sent him a message, so hopefully he's gonna pop in here soon. If you guys see him, let me know. I'm scrolling to see if I see him pop in, but I don't see him yet. In the meantime, while we wait for Mr. Field, if any of you guys have a question for me or whatever, just raise your hand. I am happy to unmute your mic. And as soon as he finds the link. Okay, hang on. I gotta send him a link, guys. Hang on. Boy, I'm gonna have to fire Field. I'm kidding. Okay, Mommy, I'm gonna unmute your mic and you can ask a question if it's for me or Field. If it's not for me, you can ask Field here as soon as we get going here. So go ahead, Mommy. Your mic is unmuted. And then Delinda, you can go after her. Go ahead, Mommy. Mommy, did I say that right? Go ahead, Mommy. Your mic is unmuted. All right, Delinda, go ahead. Delinda, did you have a question? Oh, your mic's not unmuted. Oh my gosh, it's Monday, everybody. Or go ahead, Delinda.
Yeah, it wasn't. I was just gonna say. I was just gonna say that you need to probably send Field a invite, but now I seen him come in the room, so.
Yeah, I already did. He asked for the link, so he doesn't need a link. He just needs to go to this main channel and hit join. But did he come in muted? There he is, right there. Okay. All right, everybody.
Poppy.
Yeah, he's here. Field's in the house, everybody. How are you, Field?
Well, I'm I'm quite well, and I'm quite old, but I'm ready to go, and I don't care what we talk about because, I prefer questions, and then I try my best to give an answer, and that should prove to people that there's no narrative or something I'm trying to push. Like a lot of people that have podcasts or whatever you call them, it seems like they're trying to, push a certain storyline or whatever. And I don't think that's necessary for me. I'd rather have people ask me questions because some people, like Delinda, for instance, know what I think I know. And so they don't mind asking me questions. And neither does Tina or Angel or Carrie Guns or let's see, the next one I might recognize. Well, I guess I don't recognize too many. But anyway, what can I do for you, Jenny?
Well, it's our weekly show at noon, so we can just start chatting away. How was your haircut? You got a haircut today. How was that?
Well, I should take a selfie, but I'm not that smart. I think it was quite good. I have the lady barber who just came back from sick leave. She had a steel or a titanium rod stuck in one of her legs. I think her upper, the femur, whatever that is. But no, that haircut was nice. And that's not why I was sort of late getting here. It's because I'm disorganized. And I'm also cooking soup because Monday is the day where Molly's isn't open. And so I sort of have to fend for myself since I don't have a mommy.
Well, I love that you're doing that. So, so yeah, we can talk about anything. So everybody, if you guys want to start raising your hands, we'll unmute your mics and you can ask Field a question. But Field, I'm going to talk about a little bit what we're seeing here in the stock market. We're seeing a lot of movement. I think a lot of people thought it was going to tank, and today was going to be the Black Swan Monday. What are your thoughts on that? You know how I feel about dates. Dates are always an epic fail. But what do you think we're going to see here with these tariffs and the movements? A lot of these countries are calling Trump. I think it's like 50 of them now have reached out because they want to make deals with them. So what are your thoughts that we're going to see here in the coming days? I know we're going to feel a pinch with these tariffs, but in the long run, we're going to have more money than we are going to know what to do with. It's going to be a good thing for us and, made in America, right? Made in the USA, jobs being here in the US.
I'm very optimistic, and I don't know why it is that it's human nature to worry about stuff that you don't understand, especially when you're listening. And now I'm going to sound like I'm you. When you listen to 7 different podcasts and they're all telling you to be worried about something, and yet, one podcast would say, worry about this, the next would say, worry about this. The I'm not worried about anything. God's in charge, and Donald Trump is doing a masterful job of helping God be in charge. Not that God needs any help. So I don't know why people insist on worrying. I'm not worried about anything. I was worried about my haircut, but I got there early. And so the lady got my hair done early. And if I would have had another 5 or 2 hours, I could have taken a selfie and then everybody could say, gee, Phil, that haircut looks terrible. In which case I'd be crushed and I'd probably go to my room and cry. Or I could just sit here in the chair and cry. But no, I'm very optimistic, and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I don't think I'm wrong. And speaking of money, most people that are worried about the economy or the stock market, well, they don't remember that Donald Trump recovered 650 airliners full of gold from the Vatican, and also I don't know if it's 600 trillion or 6 trillion or 60 trillion, but he's got all sorts of money coming in because that's what he is. Everyone thinks he's a president. He's not even a politician. He's an executive and he's executing the plan. And the plan, as you just mentioned, 50 nations want to come over to Washington, District of America, and they want to negotiate with Trump. And I think that's great. I think Trump's driven them into a corner, and their only way out is to come talk to him. And Trump isn't going to give away the store like that idiot from Delaware did, or that unknown quantity. I can't remember her name. It's sort of like camel toe or something like that. But how can the Democratic Party nominate such idiots? Is it like they're trying to self-destruct? Oh, never mind. They've already self-destructed. Okay, over to you, Jenny, but I'm not worried. Not at all. Over to you.
Yeah, I'm not either. And I think the biggest thing for everybody is you need to understand the tariffs and how they're going to work in the interim and how they're going to work long term. So when I say we're going to feel the pinch, we're going to feel the pinch, financially a little bit here in the interim. But when it comes to long term, it's going to benefit we, the people, and it's going to benefit the United States of America. So Trump is bringing things back to the United States to be made in America. So definitely understand the tariffs if you don't, so you can kind of feel a bit more comfortable about what we're about to see. So I want to welcome Santino. Santino is in the house, everybody. He is, I'm glad to see you over here, Santino. I did make him an admin over here with us at the Revival of America. So welcome, Santino.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Jenny. Good morning, Field. Yes, it's a great day. Things are moving along, and I think we're headed in the right direction. It's celebration, 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 keeping your head on the swivel, but staying positive, moving in the right direction. Absolutely.
Thank you, Santino. And many of you probably hear of Santino over there on X. He and I are in a lot of spaces together, whether we're co-hosting together or speaking together, we're there together. And it's an honor to have you over here, my friend, and be a part of the Revival of America. So,
the honor is mine, Jenny. I love being around you. Honestly, you're a fan. Jenny is a phenomenal human being and an amazing podcaster, but she's a phenomenal human being.
Oh, thank you, Santino. I love you, buddy. All right, everybody. If you have a question for Field, please feel free to raise your hand. I do have a few mics unmuted right now. So, Debbie, your mic is unmuted. Go ahead and ask Field your question. Remember, everybody, remember real quickly, Debbie. No, you're good. I just want to let everybody know here. Remember, this podcast is for you guys too, right? It's not just about the guests. It's about you guys, we the people. It's about your voices as well. So you guys coming up here and being able to use your voice to ask the guests your question or speak to them, it's about you guys as well. So please don't be nervous to ask a question because I do make this podcast about you guys as well. So go ahead, Debbie.
Hi, Phil. This is Debbie Tamagas again, and I wanted to ask you a couple questions real quickly. First, I just wanted to verify to see if you got the email I sent you, and I sent one to Jenny as well, but I don't know if it's the correct one that you gave out, so I wanted to verify if you got that, and if not, could you maybe repeat the email, because maybe I got that wrong?
Okay, well, I'm I don't want to, I'm not singing the blues and I'm not trying to be something I'm not. I'm just really busy. And I think it was 3 weeks ago, I had 5 days in a row where had 18-hour days. And I understand that Trump or somebody just came up with a rule that the work week in America is going to be 32 hours. And so I took 5 18-hour days and multiplied it, and I came up with 90 hours. So I'm hoping that President Trump will shorten my workday. But I'm going to get out of my chair where I sit during this show, and I'm going to waddle like an old guy. Come to think of it, no wonder I waddle. I am an old guy. Here we go. I've got the email address, so I'll confirm it. I'll bet you sent it to the right place. So, Deb, did you send it to FIELDALGN25 at yahoo.com?
Yes.
Okay, well, it's in there. I mean, I don't
Okay.
have my computer on, and I'm too old to multitask because, mothers, of which you are, and there's another mother over in England. Her first name's Angel Mother, but mothers are multitaskers, and I know that because I just had my hair cut, and the grandmother was babysitting two of her granddaughters, and so she was doing my hair, and while she had a 2-year-old daughter that was full of energy, and making a little bit of happy chatter, which is fine with me. I have 9 grandkids today, and in November it's going to be 10. Uh, so anyway, you sent it to the right email, so that answered that. And so what was your next question, Deb?
Well, thank you for verifying that, Field. I didn't want to rush you. I just wanted to verify. But my next question is, do you know anything about the audit that's supposed to take place at Fort Knox? And if that's going, I haven't heard much about it recently. I don't know if they're still planning that or if that's been sidetracked, I guess.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything, but Elon Musk was the party that was going to audit it. But I just want to say something to calm everybody down. So everybody take a Quaalude or 2. Well, you could have 3 if you want, but then you'd fall asleep. But everything's going to be fine. We have so much gold in this country that whatever it is in Fort Knox or is missing from Fort Knox, yeah, it could be a little bit of a procedural uh, entity, but in terms of the wealth of the United States of America, it's really insignificant. The last time I think it was audited somewhat responsibly was in 1974. So how much gold could have been in there then compared to the 650 plane loads of gold that Trump had taken out of the Vatican? And whenever I speak about the Vatican, and I frequently do, and not in real flowery terms, but I'm critical of the Jesuits in the Vatican, not the Vatican, not the Catholic faith, although I wonder how many Catholics know what uh, Catholic even means. I think it means unified or one world church, and that was the goal, but that's not going to be achieved. But the Jesuits are the problem. In fact, if Donald Trump said, "Hey, Field, you're going to be president for 37 minutes starting 22 minutes ago, what would you like to do with the remaining 15 minutes?" I would say, I would like to remove the UK royals and scrub their history because they're a bunch of fakers, they're a bunch of pedophiles, and they've done nothing for humanity. And then I'd like to get rid of the Vatican Jesuits, not the Vatican other guys, the Jesuits, the ones that wear red shoes. Because whether the Catholic people know this, or even if they don't want to hear it, everybody who's Catholic that doesn't want to hear it, why don't you go to the bathroom or go to the kitchen and come right back? Because what I'm going to say is the Vatican Jesuits, which are the root of all evil, as far as I'm concerned, they're a bunch of child traffickers. And I'll say that again. The Jesuits in the Vatican abuse children, and that's why they wear red shoes. But just to be fair, Debbie, I want to give Jenny the opportunity to correct me if she thinks I'm wrong. Jenny, does that make sense to you, or am I nuts?
You're definitely not nuts, and yes, it makes 100% sense.
Oh, thank you very much. Yeah, and I wonder, so many people are looking for information and they're not finding it. But as Jenny says at the beginning of every one of her broadcasts, be careful who you're listening to. And if the person or persons or the podcast you're listening to is confusing or is contradictory to what you can feel in your heart and your nature, then don't listen to them. I mean, they'll fill you full of baloney. And I think that Jenny does a remarkable job of making sure that the only language spoken on the Jenny platform is truth, TRUTH. So this is like one-stop shopping. On the other hand, Jenny would be the first one to suggest to you that you don't put all your apples in one bag, or you might lose all your apples. But if you find a podcast that you understand and you have faith in, for instance, Jenny's, yeah, I think you should spend as much time as you can with Jenny. And she's never steered me wrong, and she tolerates me. And I used to be on a different chat room, and the party in that other chat room was totally unlike Jenny. That party tried to manipulate me and tried to limit the public's access to me. That wasn't something I liked, and so I'm glad I'm gone. I don't need to be controlled. I don't need to be manipulated. Jenny is very polite, and even about 30 minutes ago, she sent me a brief message that said, Field, what would you like to talk about today? And I think Angel Mother over in England is going to post a question if she hadn't done it yet. But my answer to Jenny was, I like doing questions and answers for one very simple reason. It proves to anyone listening that I do not have a narrative. I do not have notes. I do not have something I want to pound into everybody's earbuds. I just want to, and this Deb, by the way, I met her in Dallas several years ago, and she's a real person and she's very nice. And if you don't know this, Deb, you might not have heard, but I'm hoping that in October of this year, that there might be a gathering in Dallas at the same hotel, and it would be a, a resurrection, if you will, of the Children's Crusade, because when my wife died, and you met my wife, Debbie, even if you don't remember that, you did.
I do remember.
Yeah, wasn't she a nice lady?
Beautiful, yes. Very
Yeah,
kind, beautiful woman.
yeah, and she died of thyroid cancer 4.5 years ago. Now, Debbie, I know you were hanging around our table a little bit. Did you see the two guys that came in there and they were trying to intimidate me?
I don't recall seeing them. I remember seeing a couple, at least one person that was kind of your Secret Service type, some kind of security for you. I remember seeing a couple of those, but I don't recall seeing the other that you're speaking of.
Yeah, well, wherever there's good people, there's going to be bad people. And because the bad people are sent there and they're paid well to intimidate people. And two guys came up to me and I ignored them right away because I could see on their face they weren't good people. And then when they wouldn't go away and they kept staring at me, I just said, is there anything I can do for you guys? And they hemmed and hawed. And I said, if I didn't know any better, I I would think that somebody paid you to come intimidate me. And let me just tell you, God protects me. So if you're working for God, tell me what God wants me to do differently. And if you're working for some human getting paid to intimidate me, you're doing a really horseshit job because I'm not afraid of you two guys. And then they sort of sauntered off. Uh, but, if God's on you, well, it's right out of the Bible. If God is for you, who can be against you?
That's right.
Yeah. And I'm surrounded by good people. And, life goes on, and the good people should take care of other people that need some guidance or some love or some humanitarian relief. But all those things are coming. And for people that insist on being scared, if we lined up in this chat room right now, if there were 50 people that were worried about the direction of America and where's the money going to come from, first of all, the money's already here. There's so much money in America right now, today, because of Trump, but even more importantly, because of God. We're in very, very good shape. And if the other podcasters aren't letting you know that, it might be that they're trying to intimidate you or deny you access to the truth. But one more thing, while I'm on the subject of gold, and I've said this numerous times, people might be getting sick of hearing it, but when God dispersed the 12 tribes, he sent them to 12 different locations only after he'd put underground resources in each of those locations. So everyone who was dispersed by God would go to a new land and they would find resources underground. And the two greatest examples of that are the country just north of South Africa. It's called Zimbabwe. It used to be called Rhodesia. And Rhodesia has vast resources underground, diamonds, oil, and gold. And it's my belief and understanding that Zimbabwe has the second greatest underground gold resources of any country in the world that's not named the United States. The United States has more gold underground than Zimbabwe. So I just caution people not to let anybody frighten you. Don't be afraid of the future. We are in good hands with Donald Trump, and we're even in better hands because God has called Donald Trump to be our chief executive. And if you want to call him a president, great. He is the president, but that's not what he really is. He's not a politician. He's an executive, and he's executing the plan, and the plan is working very well. Now, Debbie, did I try to make you feel better, or did I fail? Because we are in good shape. I'll leave it at that. Over to you, Debbie.
Hang on, she had background, so I had to mute her. So I'm gonna mute you again, Debbie, and then I got to go on to some other questions. I've got some hands here, so go ahead and answer his question, and then we got to move to other hands. Go ahead, Debbie.
Yes, Phil, thank you. You did answer it in full. Thank you very much. And I won't take up any more of your time. Thank you, Jenny.
Thank you, Debbie. Thank you for being here. Also, to everybody, I want to let you guys know regarding the Children's Crusade. As Field continues to put this together, we'll put more information out. So I know everybody wants to be a part of it and everything right now, but it's still in the works. So I don't know how much Field may have to put out there for you, that other than kind of planning on a conference in, I think, October, for one of the first 2 weeks in October. But right now it's still in the works. So if myself or Field, and Field can answer this for himself, but if myself, I haven't gotten back to you because I really don't have a lot to give you right now. And I'm sure, and then all of that, I'm busy. I know Field's busy. So just bear with us, everybody. Wait to hear some stuff as it continues to get put together. We will definitely bring it here for you guys, and we will be able to answer more of your questions as you guys have them. So I don't know, Field, if you want to touch on that or not, because I know I've been getting some emails, but I just don't really have a lot of information to give them. So maybe you want to touch on that real quickly.
Yes, I will. Thank you. And first of all, I guess I've been sort of lackadaisical in not coming up with a plan, but we're still in April, and so we have a long time to go to October. But for like the recent lady that just spoke with us, both of us, Jenny, her name was Debbie. She's been to that hotel for a conference that I was speaking at in 2018. I believe it was maybe in August of 2018. I can't remember. But it's a wonderful hotel. And no matter where you might be in North America or even overseas, if you fly into DFW, Dallas Fort Worth International Airport, the hotel van picks you up at the curb after you get your bag or bags, plural. And it's just a 10-minute ride, and the hotel is very, very comfortable. It's got a great restaurant or two. It's got I don't know what you might call it. It's a combination restaurant and bar on the main floor. So when whatever the program is for the day, then a lot of people retreat there just to socialize. And I promise, Jenny, I won't put that on you. You're a busy lady. But over in England, there's a lady named Angel, and I speak with her frequently, and she'll keep me on task, and I'll start communicating with the hotel and just find out the cost of having maybe a 3 or 4 day, probably 4 day gathering. And then I can put out the link to where people can reserve hotel rooms, and they can reserve a place at the conference. And the details of that are unknown to me, but I'll start putting them together and I'll make it look, for your benefit, Jenny, I'll make it look like we're making progress with trying to figure out how many people would like to come. Yeah, it's like a monkey with 17 bowling balls in the air, and a lot of monkeys can't even lift one bowling ball. But when you got 17 of them, the monkey's gonna get exhausted or die. And so I'm not a monkey, although I am an erect primate, just like monkeys are. But no, I'll get to work on that, honestly. And then we can, you can post it updates so people know if they want to come. But one thing that's very important, I could not resurrect the Children's Crusade after my wife died because, it was a matter of there needs to be a lady standing up there on the stage too. And now there's 3 ladies that are willing to be on the stage, and they can take turns or they can all show up. It doesn't matter. Not to me anyway. One of the ladies is Jenny. One of the ladies is Nikki, Niki, and I believe she's here today. And the other lady is Angel Mother, who's from England. And now that there's 3 ladies that have said they would be willing to show up and speak. And what are they going to speak about? I don't care. Whatever's on their mind at the time. That's 6 months off. We're going to have a lot to celebrate between now and October. And each of these ladies is different. And each of them has areas of expertise. And each of them can speak on whatever they want to speak on. And because I'm the shy type, I probably won't speak on anything except to welcome everybody to the conference and then turn it over to questions from the floor. And what I've done in the past is have 1 or 2 people with microphones walking around. And when they see a hand go up, they'll go over the microphone and that person can ask me a question, because I do not have a narrative and I don't want to poison any minds, and I just want to answer questions. And there's a whole wealth of things I can answer questions about, starting with what really happened on 9/11. And I sort of had a good idea on the morning of 9/11, and I published it. It was the Boeing uninterruptible autopilot. And I've explained that hundreds of times, but I'll explain it one more time at the conference. But also MH370. That was the aircraft that went missing, supposedly, on the 9th of March of 2014. And there's a guy out there that speaks as if he's the expert on MH370, and he always starts his speaking with, meaning he, not me. Uh, Ashton, what's his name? Starts with an F. Um, anyway, he
Forbes.
said, who?
Forbes.
Oh, Forbes. Thank you very much. Yeah, Ashton Forbes frequently says that he's the first guy that figured out where MH370 was ditched in the South Indian Ocean. The only problem, Ashton, is it never was ditched anywhere. It landed safely at Diego Garcia, and it parked in a hangar that could not be viewed from an aircraft or a satellite. And it landed because it was remotely controlled. It was electronically hijacked at the BITOD intersection by Serco Corporation. And the United States Air Force had an AWACS over in that area of the world on a military exercise that involved Vietnam, Thailand, Singapore, Malaysia, Australia, and the United States. And so for anyone to say they're an expert on MH370 and then in the next breath say that they know where it landed in the ocean, I'm trying to think of a polite word, and there's just not a polite word for people that don't know their ass from third base. That airplane never crashed in the ocean. It landed at Diego Garcia with 239 corpses on it. And if anybody wants to hear the long version of that, come to Dallas and then get near a microphone and ask me the question, and I'll take more time. I might even have a chalkboard or one of those whiteboards where you can use magic markers, because even though Ashton Forbes claims he's the expert on MH370, I don't think that's anywhere near accurate. I put out a YouTube of 5 minutes and 40 seconds on the morning it did not go missing. So enough about that. I also predicted, not that it doesn't matter, I'm not blowing my own horn, but on the morning of, some morning in late March of 2014, I predicted that Malaysia Airlines System, MAS, would lose another 777, Boeing 777, and I said it'll happen before the end of business on the 14th, no, the 17th of July of 2014. And guess what? It did. And the reason I forecast that is because they had the 239 corpses and they had the MH370 aircraft, which the registration number was 9M-MRO. And they had to get rid of the aircraft and they had to get rid of the bodies. And they did over Donetsk, Ukraine. And I'll just stop there. But if anybody wants to ask me that question at the conference, I can spend more time and give you more details. But should we go on to the next question? Or did I even come close to answering one yet?
No,
Jenny,
you're good, Field. You're good. Yeah, we can go. We've got some hands here. So go. Let's see. Mommy, your mic is unmuted. Go ahead and ask Field your question.
Thank you, Jane. Earlier, I wasn't unmuted. That's why I couldn't speak. So I'm just let you know I'm not disrespecting you, but I wasn't muted.
Oh no, it
and-
looked unmuted on my side. So glad we got it handled. So go ahead.
No
Thank you.
problem, no problem. Thank you. First, can I have, I was earlier raising my hand, so you could repeat your email address again, so I could email you some things. But to Phil's comment, I just wanted to add something I really understand. I'm the first generation immigrant who came from a socialist country, and I've never involved in politics until 2016 when Mr. Trump was running. And just to make a long story short, when in America right now, earlier, Phil was saying that we shouldn't fear. I think I wanted to emphasize on that. There are so many voices that is trying to scare us, but just look at it. It was impossible. Knowing what we know now, if God did not interfere and give us Mr. Trump in 2016, we would not know what have been done to us all this time. That really, our country can be destroyed. But it's just a sign that God is not done with America. And so knowing since 2016 to this time, we got this far. I think this is the time to just thanking God, keep praying so God would expose the wicked and turn around things. I'm a grandmother. I came at the age of 17, and now my children have children. And so this is home for us. And we don't want to be a refugee again. We don't want to go anywhere. We don't belong anywhere. And seeing what I left socialism, and what I left behind follow me here. It was very, very nerve-wracking. And that's how I get to involve in politics on 2016. And it wasn't just volunteering, but we really did, my community, I'm from Africa, we did a lot of fasting and praying and seeing how God interfered. Seriously, most of you remember the 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 the, the election, Mrs. Clinton to do her speech. What did she have? She had the United States map to stand on it. Yeah, she wanted to rule over it. But God saved us from that. David, the King David in the Bible, when he went to face Goliath, everybody told him that's impossible. How much, I'm from a Democrat state, how much of it, how many times we know People that not supposed to be winning have been winning on a Democrat side. We know it wasn't because they were elected. There was a method to cheat. But from all that knowledge, all the money they have, all the voices they have on the media, controlling a social media, it was a David and Goliath moment for America. I don't know how many of you really deeply understand what God have saved us from. It was the impossibility. God made possibility. Mrs.
Amen.
Clinton was very, very confident she would win. It's not because people were voting for her. She knew there was a system in place. There's no way she would lose. So she was ready with her purple, um,
And
you know,
and to
a
your
hair
point,
just a
and to your point, mommy, I think everybody too, if you don't know already, because I think a lot of you know that if she had won, because she thought she would never lose, we would not be having this conversation, everybody. We'd be in concentration camps, away from our families. Those guillotines were not for them. They were for us. The body bags, they were all for us. So this was their plan, and so we have to feel the pain a little bit, so we know this doesn't happen again. But just know we would not be having these conversations if they weren't in control and Trump didn't have it all, like he says that we caught them all, we have it all. It's just a slow rollout for those sleepers out there. That isn't for us, everybody. It's for those people that still have their heads in the shit. So be thankful that God did use Trump for this, because Trump doesn't deal with BS as we see. Thank you, mommy.
That's
And
what I want to. Would
did
you
you
repeat
need?
your email, please?
Yes, my email. Okay, yes, my email is therevivalofamerica@yahoo.com.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for being here, and God bless you.
Jenny, that's one of the best qualities of Trump. He doesn't take any bullshit.
Yeah, and I love it about him, right? I mean, he makes he and his team make these little memes and jokes, which I just love, because I don't know, it just, if you're not following Trump, everybody, please do, because he's telling us without telling us, but he also has that humor in there to keep people like going, and he's got this, everybody. He really truly does. Field, did you want to say something? I thought I saw your mic come open.
Oh, yeah, my mic is open. I just want to thank that lady. I think her name was Momy. And, I hope every indigenous American listened to her. I started crying listening to her because she appreciates America so much more than many Americans. And she knows what's going on. She knows who the players are. And she has 3 generations. She has kids, and they're having kids. And I can tell that lady something I've never told you, Jenny, and that is in 2015, I was sort of behind the scenes, being the same jerk I am all the time, uh, communicating with Donald Trump as somebody who spent a long time in the military. And the United States of America has been attacked by the sponsors of idiots. And that sounds like strong language. Well, it's going to get stronger. Idiots like Joe Biden, camel toe hair lip, Hillary Clinton, my own sister, George H.W. Bush, John McCain, and there's been 3 people that the globalists wanted to be in charge of America so they could shut us down. Barry Soetoro, now that lady from Africa, Democratic Nation in Africa, she probably knows that Barry Soetoro is Obama's real name. But so many Americans don't know that. So they sent a traitor who is a homosexual, gay prostitute at Punahou High School in the class of 1979. His only mission was to destroy America. And he tried hard. And he had an idiot for vice president, Joe Biden, And when I say idiot, I'm not being disrespectful to people that have low IQs. I'm being accurate. And then for their third act, you got Hillary, then you got Obama, then you got Biden, and then you got this person that I can't even define. I can't even spell her name. I think it's camel toe hair lip. But where do they get these people? Out of the trash pile. They look for trashy people that will do anything for money and to destroy the greatest nation on earth. And I'm not a proud American. I'm ashamed of America. But
Thank
I'm
you, Field.
yeah, I know. But we owe Jenny a big thank you for allowing people to come on like MOMY and tell all of us older Americans what we have here is a blessing that needs to be protected. Over to you, Jenny. Sorry for that.
Oh, no, 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 you're good. Yes, I agree. We owe people like mommy a debt of gratitude because like Field said, she loves our country more than some of these Americans, and that's really a sad day, everybody. So I want to say thank you, mommy, for coming up here, sharing your story, and I look forward to your email. So God bless you again. All right, health today. Your mic is unmuted. Go ahead and ask Field your question. Sorry, heal today. Your mic is unmuted. Go ahead. Go ahead, heal today. Your mic is unmuted. Okay.
There I am. Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
Yes. So, Field, I'm from the Conyers, Covington, Georgia area where the biolab fire occurred last September. And I wanted to tell people that are in that area for them to be sure to have themselves checked outside of the medical world and find out if the chemicals permeated their being, because I'm finding a lot of damage and there are ways through it and there are ways out of it, but people just don't even know. And so I just wanted to pass that on to you. And I also want to know about your ear and how's your ear doing?
My ear is doing fine, and I have to thank God because the way my ear got identified as a problem, and it was basal cell carcinoma, which is a college boy term for cancer. But I had cancer in my left ear, and if untreated, I don't think it's a big deal initially, but if you don't let it get treated, it will migrate. And, my left ear is not far from my small brain. And I was very fortunate. The lady who just gave me a haircut today, she saw my ear and she says, Field, I think there's something wrong with your ear. I think you need to go to Eau Claire, Wisconsin, which is like 45 miles from me. And she said, when you get there, you need to talk to a dermatologist and see if that's basal cell cancer. And it was. And it was surgery was performed, outpatient surgery, on the 22nd of January of this year. And so the answer is that my ear's fine, my brain's fine, and not, I'm starting to cry again because I've been blessed by God to be surrounded by people that care about me. And I hope that when MOMY communicates with Jenny, that Jenny can put me in touch with MOMY. I'd love to have her come speak at the Children's Crusade meeting because she was a great communicator and she was a reminder that many of us Americans take our great country for granted, but she doesn't because she came from another country that she can identify later. It's not my job. I don't even know. But I know I've been working, like I just told Jenny maybe 7 minutes ago. I was involved with Trump in 2015 because I was not afraid of Hillary. I mean, I have her by the neck. I think she might be gone already, but if she's not gone, I am a witness that could make her get executed because I gave intellectual property to my sister, Christine Marcy, who shared it with Hillary Clinton. And the two of those, I was going to say ladies, but neither one of them were ladies. They are females, but a lady is something vastly more important than a female. And Hillary and my sister, they had great ambitions. They wanted to change the world for the worse. And they got my information about how to remotely control an airliner, the Boeing uninterruptible autopilot. I'm not anti-Boeing. GE made the Boeing uninterruptible autopilot. And then the cowards at GE changed the name. They're not called GE anymore. And the guy that was the CEO back then, he had 275 million of company paid life insurance. Gee, I wonder why. How about because he was in the office of CEO of GE when they provided the remote controlling feature called the Boeing uninterruptible autopilot? You know, America has been under attack from the inside out. And I can point the fingers. No, not the fingers, just one of my finger, and it would be my index finger because I'm not impolite, even to traitors. But the people that did 9/11, they're known to me. And I think I'm known to them. And I think they're afraid of me because I can guarantee you I'm not afraid of them. Because just like Donald Trump, I was called by God to do something. And it wasn't anything as important as running the United States of America. No, God asked me just to do one thing. And he asked me in Psalm 94:16 and Ephesians 5:11, God asked me to expose evil. And I've been exposing evil since the morning of 9/11. And the greatest evil of which I'm aware, greater even than treason, like Obama, who's married to Mike. Oh, that's lovely. You got two gay guys uh, posing as the president and first gay male. That doesn't float for me. It doesn't float for God either. And I bet you if Donald Trump offered an opinion, it might be very similar, but more polite than what I just said. But the United States of America will never fail unless God gives up on us. And that reminds me of a song by David Soul. Don't give up on us, baby. We're still worth one more try. I know we let the last one by. Well, that lady from Africa really touched my heart by reminding all of us Americans, black and yellow, red and white, that we were blessed to be born in the United States of America. But with that blessing comes responsibility. Stand up, and it doesn't matter if you're a lady or a man, stand up and protect the United States of America, but vastly of more importance, stand up and protect children. That's the greatest evil on the earth today. And my own sister and Hillary Clinton were running Pizzagate and Pedogate, and that's not a knee-jerk statement today. I stated that in court, under oath, in the jury box in 2017, when I was in the jury box, and the judge was going to dismiss the alternative jurors, and he said, before I dismiss any of the alternative jurors, do any of you 12 in the jury box have a history with pedophilia? I tried to look as nervous as I could, and I don't get nervous real easy. But I know it helps the judge feel like he's doing a better job if I look nervous. So I very nervously raised my hand, and he looked on his cheat sheet and he said, Mr. McConnell, you have a personal history of pedophilia? And I said, yes, Judge. Notice I didn't say Your Honor. I don't honor those guys. I said, yes, Judge. My sister and Hillary Clinton run Pedogate and Pizzagate, the greatest, biggest child trafficking organization in the world. He put his hands over his ears and he said, you're dismissed. And I thought, yeah, you should be dismissed too, because the judge was a pedophile. And I know of what I speak because I have a pretty nice piece of land, 100 acres, and a 5-bedroom house where I'm by myself, which is not my choice. My wife died. Um, but God's been very, very good to me, and I have very, very good news to everyone else within the sound of my voice. God wants to be kind to you too, but you have to. I mean, I'm not telling you what you have to do. It says right in the Bible, if you call out to God, He will give you the desires of your heart. Seek Him first, and you will be invited into the kingdom of heaven, and you just have to stay down here in the waiting room on earth until you're called home. But once you're called home, it's eternity with no crying, no anxiety, no envy, no disease, and that's where I'm heading. I just don't know when I get to go there, but I'm not going to go early, if you get my drift. I mean, some people would take the easy way out, but the easy way is not God's way. God wants us to wait, and one by one, in order, He will call us home. And what a glorious homecoming that will be for me. Over to you, Jenny.
Thank you,
Field,
Fields. Big hug.
Field, I just wanted to say, when you started singing that song, that has got to be one of my favorite songs from the 1970s. Don't Give Up on Something, Baby. It's just a phenomenal song, and it brings such purity. And when times were just organic, I love that song. Thank you, sir. Thank you for bringing that song up.
Thank you very much. God bless you.
Thank you, Santino. All right, Adrian B, your mic is unmuted. Go ahead and ask Field your question.
Hey, Field. Hey, Jenny. My question kind of goes in line with what you were speaking about earlier, like with the things uncovered about Barack Obama. And I know Trump was involved in the birth certificate. I could guess you could call it a scandal, but nothing really came of it. And I was just wondering if you had any insight or information about things like that being uncovered and having nothing done about them, or the connection to the Supreme Court.
Well, let's start with Supreme Court. In the United States of America, our court system has been a complete charade, and I think it's getting better. But if you take a look at the demographics of people who are Supreme Court justices, it's like who's who of nobody. And in fact, I believe in the Washington District of America court system, 66 or 67% of the judges are foreign nationals. This is my country. In fact, I could sing that. I don't think Jenny wants me to, but to heck with her. Here it comes. This is my country, land that I love. This is my country, blessed from above. Now, what blessed from above means is God is blessing America, but He can't do it forever. He could, but He's not willing to. At some point, He wants Americans to stand up and volunteer to fight for America. And I'm not talking about a serviceman or a servicewoman. I'm talking about fighting for children, fighting for the truth, and fighting to get rid of people like Hillary Clinton, who's not a Clinton, she's a Rockefeller. So right there, you got a big problem. She lied about who she is. Of course, her husband is a liar too. And his name is Bill, Jefferson Rockefeller. And he has Peyronie's disease. And if you don't know what that is, look it up. Peyronies. Peyronie's disease. So how could he father a child? Well, I think the guy's name is Webster Hubble. That's who sired. What a terrible job that is. I wouldn't have taken it. But Chelsea's father is not Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton's appendage doesn't work correctly. Now, that's getting into some area that nobody thought would happen in this show today. But, the truth is the truth. And believe it or not, the truth will set all of us free. And if all of us in America are turned loose by learning the truth through humanitarian acts of grace and sharing and love and respect, the people in America today, including that lady named MOMY, we can lead other people that need guidance and want help and they want the truth. We can lead them to Jesus Christ and his Father, God. And then, of course, one of their understudies, and they've got numerous in the United States, but President Donald John Trump. We are in very, very good hands. And I already forgot the question. So would the lady or the gentleman who asked me the question, please? No, it's okay, Jenny. This happens every week, doesn't it?
You're good. Go ahead, Adrian. Go ahead with your question again. Go ahead.
Well, I just wondered if Field had any comment on like the research that was done on Barack Obama's birth certificate by Donald Trump and why a lot of that has not yet come out.
Oh, wait a minute. It's coming out right now. Are you ready?
Oh, I'm ready.
Okay. They tried to kill a woman whose name was Loretta Fuddy, and she was in an aircraft, a Cessna Caravan, that was taking off from the island of Molokai. And since this is Jenny's educational opportunity, Molokai is where they put all the people that had leprosy back in the old days in Hawaii. So that was a leper colony. I don't like that term. Lepers are people too. And even if people don't like me, tough shit. I'm a person too. Why don't we just understand that we're all people? We've all been created by God, and we all should love and respect each other. But getting back to Barry Swatero's birth certificate, there is no such thing as Barack Hussein Obama. My own sister, Christine Marcy, gave him that passport with that name on it in 1994. And who was my sister? She was some flunky bureaucrat that wanted to destroy America. And the only problem was she came from a mother and a father who were Christian patriots, and she only had one sibling. That's me. And I made it very clear to my sister, if you want to destroy America, why don't you start with your own family and try to destroy me? And she couldn't, she didn't, and I believe she's been executed. But these people trying to destroy the United States of America, if you follow the rat lines, and that's what they're a bunch of blanking rats. And Jenny will say, yeah, I heard him say it, but he didn't say blanking, he said blanking, because I'm not going to say what they are. But everyone knows what I'm thinking. And I've been doing what I do for quite a while. And I'm not going to say I'm very good at it, but I will say I'm very effective at it because it scares the blank out of cowards. Like Joe Biden, Hillary Clinton, Bill Clinton, George H.W. Bush, who was a Nazi gay pedophile. And people think, oh, no, he couldn't have been. He's the president. Well, where do you think they got him from? They got Barry Swatero, who was a gay male prostitute from Punahou School in Hawaii, and I went to the same school he did. And I'm not bashing homosexuals, but I am a heterosexual. I've got 4 kids. I'm expecting my 10th grandchild, and that's the way God wants it. And the lady that came from, I think her name was MOMY, that was a refugee from Africa, she loves America almost as much as I do. And if she was anywhere near as aged as I am, oh yeah, that's what they say. They say, oh, you're aged. Okay, I'm aged. Okay, let's hop in the boxing ring and you can see how I've gotten to be aged. It's because I don't screw around with piss ants. I defeat them. And that's what I do. And that's what I'm going to continue today until they defeat me, which is never going to happen because I work for God. But anyway, Loretta Fuddy, they tried to fake her death, and the aircraft did crash into the ocean. It's called an engine failure. Yeah, okay, engine failure. How come the RPM was still, and see, I know a little bit about this, but on the day that airplane went into the ocean, they had a couple of problems. There was a camera, a video camera running in the cabin of the Cessna Caravan, and it was focused right on the tachometer, which is an RPM gauge, and the engine was still producing power when it went into the ocean. So what does that tell us? It tells us that the engine had not failed, but that it was faked, FAKED, so that people could say, oh, Loretta Fuddy, who was in charge of birth certificates in Honolulu at the time that Obama was born in White Rock, British Columbia, Canada. Oh, wait a minute. I thought he was born in Kenya. Nope. Well, I thought he was born in Hawaii. Nope. I thought he might be born in Indonesia. Nope. You guys don't know what's going on. And no offense, because the media has lied to you, but the truth is available. He was born at White Rock, British Columbia, in Canada, and, and who his mother was, and I think that's known, but who his father was, I think that's been concealed. But all these things are being exposed, and it's God doing the exposing, and God is working through some people, like Trump, like me, like a whole lot of military white hats. We are not going to surrender our country to a bunch of misfits like Hillary Clinton, my own sister, Barack Obama, Joe Dum Dum Biden, Camel Toe Hairlip, or whatever her name is. The United States of America has enough wealth to last a long, long time before the tariffs. Now, most Americans don't have a clue of when the last time the United States had tariffs, so I'll help them. It was in the years previous to 1893. And so when they got rid of the tariffs in 1893, which was 22 years after we became a colony of England through the Organic Act of 1871, where did they find a revenue source? Oh, yes, they created the Internal Revenue Service in 1913, and they taxed our brains out. Well, when they taxed me, they didn't get my brains and they didn't get my testicles. And I will take on anybody in the United States government, present or past, that is working to destroy the United States government, and they will not win. It's called The Man in the Arena, which is written by Teddy Roosevelt, the president. And it's a wonderful poem, and I'll just say it slowly so people can Google it and find it. The, T-H-E, man, M-A-N-N-I-N, the, T-H-E, arena, A-R-E-N-A. Americans have a duty, an obligation, and an opportunity to bless the world with peace, respect, love, and humanitarian support. And we will do that. So help me, Trump. Okay, I'll go the other route. So help me, God. Over to you, Jenny.
Thank you, Field. All right, Adrian, did that answer your question, my friend?
Yes, thank you very much, Field. I appreciate your answer and your patriotism.
Well, thank you. But
Adrian.
yeah, thank you very much. God bless you.
All right, Miss Michelle Emoff, your mic is unmuted. Go ahead.
Hello, Field. Hello, Jenny. My
Hello.
question is regarding the protests that are being held. What is your insight on this with they're saying that like 12 cities are going to be destroyed, or they're not knowing if the military will intervene. I heard Trump was supposed to make a power move in August. So I was just wondering what your insight was on that. Maybe.
Are you okay? Are you exasperated?
No, I'm fine. It's just sometimes I don't know if my questions make sense.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a bunch of baloney. There's not going to be cities destroyed, and here's why. It's not like the military can intervene. The military has already intervened, and it was done probably 5 or 6 months ago. There's 50 states in the United States, and the Army and Air National Guard of all 50 states was put on active duty. See, the Army and the Air National Guard are states' functions, and they're state funded unless the United States takes them under the federal umbrella, in which case the federal government tells the Guard, Air National Guard, and the Army National Guard what to do, and the federal government provides the fundings. And that was done 5 or 6 months ago. And the United States military reserve forces are already deployed around the United States. And I would bet my rear end, and notice I didn't say gluteus maximus or something more vulgar. Well, I am betting my rear end, because if I'm wrong, somebody could arrest me and, they could call me a ninny. I'm not wrong. If I was wrong, I wouldn't be saying this. The military has already been activated. They're in all the hot spots. And if these gangs from South America, like MS-13 or the other one that's a Spanish word, or maybe it's Portuguese, I don't know. They don't know who they're messing with. But, just I was born in Fort Worth, Texas, so I'd say don't mess with Texas. But more importantly, don't mess with the United States of America, because God Himself is protecting the United States of America. And nobody has to take my word for it, but just take a look at Donald Trump. He's not putting up with these panty waist. I almost said something vulgar, but I'm not going to do that. But these people that think they have power to disrupt the United States, they can besame cula, as they say in Spanish. I won't put that in English because the Spanish people are already laughing and some of the English people would be offended. But we're not going to be harmed. We might have a little friction here and there, but we're going to be blessed. That's with a capital B, Blessed. And we're currently blessed, capital Blessed, because instead of a president, and we've had really horseshit presidents, with the exception of John F. Kennedy, from 1871 until whenever Donald Trump really took over, and that's subject to some research. My research says he didn't take over after this election. He took over when Biden was removed. And am I right, or is the media right? Well, I don't know. Has the media ever told you anything at all that was right? I rest my case. Did I answer the question, Jenny, or did I just get long-winded?
No, you answered it. You answered it. Thank you.
Thank you, Michelle. Yeah, I think you answered. Thank you so much for being here, Michelle. All right. Linda Hendrickson, your mic is unmuted. Go ahead and ask Field your question.
Hi, Field. I was wondering, do you have any clue to when there's going to be more public disclosure? Like, I know listening to Jenny's podcast, and I listen to Captain Kyle and some other very good people. Do you think we're talking weeks, months? What's your
No,
thoughts
we're
on
not. I could be wrong. I'm a human, and humans make errors.
that, right?
No, I don't think it's months. I think it's in April, and
Oh,
we're going to
sweet.
find out. Oh, go ahead, young lady. Go ahead.
I said, sweet. I'm excited.
Well,
So I think too also everybody Cash has come out and said that there's going to be a big arrest soon. So what that is, dates and all that. Dates are an epic fail. Nobody knows it's going to
Right.
happen when it's going to happen. But I think another big thing everybody needs to understand, arrests have already happened. 3 of the biggest arrests that we have seen publicly are Epstein, Ghislaine, and Diddy. Those 3 are going to take down politicians, CEOs, Hollywood. Those are huge arrests. So, and like Phil just told you right now, he thinks that Hillary and his sister have already been handled. So just like Dan Bongino came out the other day and said, just because you aren't seeing it in the forefront, right, in your view, doesn't mean things aren't happening. And we have been saying this for a long time. There's a lot of things going on behind the scenes, and it has to be a slow roll. You have to do it to where there's no chaos, because a lot of people still cannot wrap their minds around what is going on. So pay attention to Trump, Patel, Dan Bongino. But I think we're going to see something like Field said here very, very soon. Not that we haven't already, but we have. I mean, like,
I have one more question if you have time.
go ahead.
I have several people that are at retirement age and they're freaking out over the market. I keep saying, I think it's going to be fine.
well, you're right. You're right, and they are wrong. Okay?
Okay.
Ye of little faith, stop poisoning people that understand the truth with your worries. We're going to be fine. And if they don't want to know we're going to be fine, why are they worried about the markets? The markets can be manipulated. They have been manipulated, but in reality, the Social Security system is already publishing that they're going to be improving the monthly um, support level of elderly people, which makes me want to celebrate in my Depends. Oh, wait a minute. I didn't mention I wear those. Oh, come to think of it, I don't. I don't know what got into my head, but we're going to be just fine. And there's so much money in the federal budget right now that they're going to be increasing Social Security, not in a little way, but in a huge way. And what they're doing is they're sharing the blessings that God has showered upon the United States, and they're going to direct a lot of the blessings to the elderly. Oh, whoop-de-doo. You know, I'm elderly according to my driver's license. I'm 75. I There's an aircraft flying over my house right now. I hope it's not the Japanese Navy coming back to bomb me. Um, and it wasn't. If they bombed me, they missed. Um, yeah, we're going to be fine. Everybody's going to be fine. But worrying until you know you're fine, what good does that do? It doesn't do any good at all. And it's irrational. We're going to be blessed, and we're going to be blessed soon. But can I tell Jenny something that I've never told her before?
Absolutely. Go ahead.
Yeah, the name Dan Bongino. You're aware of who he is, right?
Yep.
Okay. When I was on house arrest in Florida, guess who was right down the street from me in the house that I was in house arrest? Yep, you're right, Dan Bongino. So what does that mean? It means nothing until a later show. So just a little food for thought. But you know, if people can't realize that God and Trump and Cash Patel and Dan Bongino, they've all got this figured out, and they can't necessarily tell us everything that's going on. They could, but I think they're wise to play it the way they are because they're not scaring American citizens. If Jenny would allow me to say something vulgar, I'd say what these people collectively are doing are scaring the shit out of the people that are going to be executed. And that's a whole lot of people. How much is a whole lot? 562,400 sealed indictments already. And a single indictment can have as many as 99 names.
That's
So
huge.
go
That's a
ahead, Jenny.
lot of people. I was just going to say that, and each indictment could have up to 99 people. That's a lot of people, everybody. And I mean, grasp your mind around that. That's a big number.
Yeah,
So
it's
yeah, they're
time
going
to
down.
Yeah, it's time to clean house. And Donald Trump is not a chambermaid. And Dan Bongino is not a nightclub entertainer. And Cash Patel, that's KAS, not CAS, right? Yeah, these guys are masters of what they do. And behind the scenes, they've got a lot of committed military white hats. I've got 2 white hats in my room right now. Whoop-de-doo. That doesn't mean anything until at some point, there's airplanes flying over my house again. This is funny. I wish I had a camera going. No, we're very close to victory. And the lady who asked the question says, is it months or weeks? And I said, I think we're going to find out a lot here in April. I hope so. And I'll go out on a limb and say, if we get good news in April, I'm going to take a vacation over to England and spend a week over there with somebody who sort of likes the way I roll. I don't know what that means. I'm too old. But, we're never too old to be truthful. We're never too old to share love and respect with other people that are good people. And is that good in my judgment? No, absolutely it's not. Matthew 7:1 says, judge not. I'm not the judge. I'm just one of the bystanders, but God's paying attention. God loves America, but he loves America no more than he loves Namibia or Rwanda or North Vietnam or any of the former Soviet states, like where I worked for a year and a half in Kazakhstan. And even though Jenny didn't ask me what my favorite restaurant in Kazakhstan was, Astana, Astan, was the city.
What's your
My
favorite
favorite,
restaurant?
it was called the Line Brew, and it was right across the street from the KGB headquarters. Do the math.
Wow. Thank you, Field.
Yeah,
All
no
right.
kidding.
All right, Kim Bystrom, your mic is unmuted. Go ahead and ask Field your question. Go ahead, Kim. Okay. All right.
Can you hear me?
Sheena. Yes,
Hello?
go ahead.
Oh, hi. I just wanted to add a little footnote. Thanks for everything you do. But about the Barack Obama deal, I was at a Trump rally in Prescott, Arizona, and I came in contact with Sheriff Joe, and he put his little index finger right in my face because I asked him about it. And he said, you best believe it's not over, concerning Barack Obama's birth certificate.
Well, there you go. Thank
Well,
you.
Thanks, guys.
let-
Thanks for all you do.
well, can I share something, Jenny, with that nice lady?
Of course.
I've been to Prescott, Arizona, and I've been to the Palace Bar. And if you're from Prescott, you know where that is.
Yeah.
And I've met Joe Arpaio, and I went to high school at the same school as Obama. And my sister gave Obama his false passport with the name Barack Hussein Obama when his name is really Barry Swatero. So, I'm nothing special. And sometimes people think I must be, but they're wrong. I'm not. I'm just some guy. And, I'm 75, but I'll tell you what, adrenaline can make up for years. And if I saw anybody mistreating a child or disrespecting a lady, I'd kick their ass from here till next Wednesday. And people say, how can you do that? You're an old man. I said, well, go ahead and touch a child. We'll find out. Because adrenaline makes up for years. And, we Americans, whether we're first generation Americans or refugees from Africa, we need to stand up for children, stand up for ladies, stand up for the truth, and stand up for Jesus Christ. That's how we survive, and we
Amen.
are going to survive. And I would invite people to come to Dallas in October. If we announce that here on the Jenny Show, it'll be announced nowhere else. And when we get the details, we will share them and invite people of like minds to come party like it's 1999.
Thank you, Field. Thank you,
You're
Kim.
welcome.
Thanks, Jenny.
Of course. Thank you for being here. All right, Mr. Santino, what do you want to read, my friend? Go for it.
I just wanted to bounce off what Field was saying. Two big things happened in this last couple of days. First off, child predators are on high alert as organizers around the globe began rolling out artificial intelligence AI tools to bring sex traffickers to justice and rescue young victims, according to Sound of Freedom executive producer Paul Hutchinson. Hutchinson, who led the 70 undercover rescue missions across 15 countries, told Fox News Wednesday that he was working with black hat hackers to help identify child predators and bring them to justice. So that's a big win. And then also something happened in Florida. Florida has shut down a massive international child porn ring. 8 suspects were charged in international child pornography cases. FDLE says it was truly heinous. What these guys were doing was truly heinous. There's no a word in the English dictionary that can describe the gross content that was on these videos. And we're talking 1.2 million videos, 6.6 terabytes of child porn. So I want everybody to know things are happening, things are moving. That we're putting an end to the child pornography, the trafficking of children. We're here for the children, and it's going to come to an end. And Trump always said it's always about the children.
And everybody that the global child porn ring that he's talking about in Florida is on the wall. It's at the bottom of the wall. So if you guys want to check it out when you get a chance, go for it. Okay, thank you, Santino. All right, Mary G, go ahead. Your mic is unmuted.
Hello, everybody. Field.
Hello.
Hi there, Jenny. Field, Benjamin Netanyahu is in the White House right now talking to President Trump. Now, we all know that Benjamin Netanyahu is not such a great fella, but I was hearing that he might be arrested. Do you have any information on that, or can you elaborate?
Well, if I had any information, I would elaborate. And no, I don't know, but I don't believe he's a good guy. But I'd like to go back to the comment about the giant child trafficking and pornography ring in Florida. So would you mind if I embellish that, ma'am? Even though
You go right ahead.
Okay.
We'll come back to you, Mary G. We'll come back to you. Go ahead, Fields.
I'll make this real quick. I'll ask you, Jenny, and believe me, I would never ask you a question if I didn't know that you have the answer, because I don't want to embarrass you. But when I was falsely arrested and I was extradited unlawfully from Wisconsin to Florida, do you remember what the issue was that I was talking about publicly when the legal system in Florida decided they better shut me up? And I'll help you. The thing that I was talking about was the global child trafficking ring in Florida, specifically Fort Lauderdale, and specifically the underground trafficking of children from Disneyland or Disney World, whichever it is. They're all a bunch of child traffickers, and they have been since the 50s. But anyway, whatever the Disney property is in Central Florida near Orlando, there was an underground railway that went to a private submarine base, and there were 2 private submarines that were parked there. One was owned by Jeffrey Epstein, and the skipper, what a bunch of shit. The person that drove that submarine was Ghislaine Maxwell, and Ghislaine Maxwell's father was tossed off the fantail of his own ship to his death. And that's what happens to these people. But the other submarine in a private submarine base was owned by Joe Biden. And, he's a piece of shit too. And if people don't like my language, go ahead. Enjoy your child traffickers. I don't like them. If I have to talk strong to help people get their heads around how pervasive, that's a big snobby college boy word, and I didn't go to college. But this child trafficking is ending. I didn't say it has to end. I said it's ending. There is a global pushback occurring in real time right now. And if anybody, including my own sister or Hillary Clinton, ever caused a little boy or a little girl to be sodomized or filmed or both, it's not like God's going to get you. The United States military is going to get you. And when we got you, and there's no way out. And that's not a film. I mean, that was a film 40 years ago, No Way Out, Kevin Costner. But there's no way out of this. P. Diddy and Jeffrey Epstein, Ghislaine Maxwell, the Clintons, my own sister, George H.W. Bush, John McCain, they weren't too smart. Fortunately for the children of the world, there's some people with big balls and fairly adequate brains that are coming for you. And just speaking as one such person, if we're coming for you, we're going to get you. And notice, Jenny, I didn't say anything about the 5 pedophile judges that tried to take my 100-acre property of my 5-bedroom house to have a weekend retreat for disadvantaged children. Oh, okay. So what does that mean? That means the pedophile judges would pull down the pants or the panties of the boys and the girls and do unkind things. If you want to see somebody get mad, you're listening to somebody who's mad right now. But you have to be calm when you're going into a gunfight, because you might make a mistake if you lose control of your emotions. So fill them with lead and let them lose their blood and get their grimy hands off the children, whether the children are black or white or yellow or red or brown. Doesn't matter what country, doesn't matter what language, doesn't matter what faith system or lack of faith. They are all God's children, and the good guys are going to settle this score, and it'll be settled, I believe, before the end of April. Over to you, Jenny.
Thank you, Fields. All right, I'm going to take 2 more questions here. I'm going to take yours, Mary G, and then Jambalaya Jim, and then I've got one on the wall I'm going to read to you. So go ahead, Mary G, if you want to repeat your question for Fields so he can circle back to it. Go ahead, Mary
Oh my
G.
goodness, it doesn't really sound as important as what we just heard. And we need to keep our minds on that, because that's what it's about in the end. That's what it's about. I just didn't know if Field had any knowledge. I think he's already gone. I
Mm-mm.
think he's
No, I'm
gone.
not. I'm here.
No, not you, not Netanyahu.
Oh,
But
Oh,
Netanyahu.
yeah.
yeah, I
Well,
think
good.
he's already gone. But the actor that's playing him, I didn't know what your thoughts were, because we were hearing that might be the one of the major arrests.
Well, let's hope so. Um, Israel is where Jesus Christ used to hang around. And yet, back in 1948, I believe it was, I could be wrong because I'm old and I wasn't around in 1948, but I came around in 49 and I've been learning ever since. But Israel wasn't really established until 1948, and who knows why it was established, but it was established by bad people from the United Kingdom. Pardon my redundancy. Bad people from the United Kingdom. Yeah, like the royals. Royals, kiss my ass. There's one royal that's ever walked the earth. His name is Jesus Christ. He's my brother. He's my savior. He's my Lord. And his dad, God, runs this world. And God has asked Donald Trump to be a humanitarian to help save the world. And Donald Trump not only knows his job, he knows his art, and he's getting things done. And none of us need to worry. We just need to grab some popcorn and watch the show, as 107 might say. Over to you, Jenny.
Thank you, Fields. All right, Jambalaya Jim, your mic is unmuted. Go ahead.
Field. I so enjoyed listening to you and Dr. Good Vibes from the Wisconsin Outpost. After you got wrestled into that predicament with the Pharaoh Poor sign, I haven't heard anything regarding the children's retreat. You were looking at T. Boone Pickens Ranch at one point, and I believe that's sold. Do you have anything? Is there a short list at the Redemption Center that we can just check off and the money will get funneled that way? Thank you.
Well, I hope the redemption centers are active soon. And I didn't know T. Boone Pickens Ranch was sold, and I'll check that out. I believe that you probably are not telling me something that's inaccurate, but I really wouldn't want that place anyway because it's too big. Now, is the price a problem? No, 220 million would be no problem, but it's still difficult to get to. It's out in the middle of nowhere. And we can do a lot better with multiplicity of smaller ranches in numerous states. And I, I really feel awkward talking about this because it makes it look like I'm soliciting contributions. But I think if somebody were to say that they want to direct money to the MVR, McConnell Veterans Ranch, and that's not me, that's my parents, Glenn and Eileen McConnell, who are Christian patriots. But there's a lot of people that want to do good things for children, first and foremost, and good things for people that have been damaged by our own country. And a good word for that is veterans. How many veterans have been terribly impacted by their service to the United States of America, thinking they were patriotic when they weren't? They were misled because the resources and the military of the United States of America were directed by the United Kingdom royals. And I hate to say this, but I'm going to, and Jenny won't black flag me, I hope. But royals, kiss my ass. The only royal is Jesus Christ and his Father, God. And that's all the royal we need. We don't need some candy ass MFs from the United Kingdom saying that they're royals. Take a look at Charles and Camilla with their phony baloney royal hats on. They look like a bunch of clowns. And by the way, they are. They're clowns, and they're not even good at acting. Um, the UK royals are a laughing stock. And if Prince William, I don't think Prince Harry would want me to come over because I think he respects me. Uh, Charles, Camilla, they don't want me to come over there. I'd chew them up and spit them out. They're a bunch of worthless pieces of excrement. Notice I said excrement. I didn't say human excrement. It could be out of the tail end of a porcine, which is French for pig. But no, we're going to be in fine shape in the United States of America. So why don't we just relax, accept the blessing, and then accept the responsibility of sharing humanitarian aid around the globe? That's what God wants. That's what Trump wants. That's what I want. And back to your question, I think you might have my email address. It's capital F, so FIELD, and the IELD is lowercase, no space, FIELDALGN25 at yahoo.com. And there's a person out there somewhere, and I'm not going to mention his, her, or its name, who used to say that he, she, or it was my corresponding secretary. I don't need a corresponding secretary. I have a mind, I have a voice, and I have a heart. And all I want to say is, I love children. The Children's Crusade is coming back, and it's going to have a gathering in Dallas either the first or second week of October of this year, 2025. And when the details become known, the only place to find them will be on Jenny Jareed's uh, platform here, because you get too many cooks in the kitchen and the stew gets spoiled. So Jenny will be in charge of promulgating that, and I'll try to be fairly communicative to let Jenny know what we're planning. And the first couple things we're going to have to plan is the name of the hotel, and it is a DFW of that's the airport. It's very close to the airport in DFW, and in the name of the hotel, which might be a Hilton, I almost think it is, but the other key word is Lakes, Lakes, and it's a wonderful convention hotel. It's got a very good restaurant. It's got a nice night spot that is a combination restaurant and lounge, and the rooms in the hotel are quite nice. And if Jenny would allow me to funnel information through her, she will be the only outlet, unless people want to contact me directly at capital FIELDALGN 25 at yahoo.com. And let's just see what God does with all this, because God's in charge, not me. Donald Trump has a great deal of authority. But not as much as God does. But, if God is for us, frankly, who can be against us? Over to you,
Amen.
sir. Yeah, no
Amen to
kidding.
that, Phil. Thank you.
Yeah, you're
Okay,
welcome.
Phil, I have one more question for you here. It says, "Hi, Field. Prince Andrews is in the news again. I've heard a rumor that he may not be the son of Prince Philip, Duke of Edinburgh, or did I say that right? Edinburgh, but is
Edinburgh.
actually Edinburgh, but is actually the son of Earl Carnarvon. Is that right? Did I say that right? Carnarvon, also known as the Lord of Porchester or Porky.
Yeah,
What is your opinion?"
well, I call him Porky. These guys are, I'm really having a hard time controlling myself, because what I'm thinking about these collective idiots in England, and by the way, I had an English wife. Right now, today, I have a English romantic interest that I've never met. I don't have to meet people. I've never met you, Jenny, have I? Have I ever met you?
No.
Do I need to meet you to judge you correctly?
Absolutely not.
No, that's true. But as far as the answer to your question is, Charles and Camilla in high school created a son, and they were so ashamed of having a child out of wedlock, they've made the son go to Australia, which probably raised the IQ of Australia and England at the same time. Getting him out of England would have raised the IQ of England, and it also raised the IQ of Australia. And I don't think I'm ever going to Australia. I used to be a pilot, and that's a long way to go on an airplane, because they don't, well, when you're a pilot, they don't allow you to have refreshments. So I'm glad I'm not a pilot anymore. But yeah, the guy you're talking about is Lord Porchester, and he was the guy that handled the breeding stock for horses for Queen Elizabeth, and he might have just bred Queen Elizabeth too, as long as he was in the breeding business. But Lord Porchester, who I call Porky, that's Andrew's dad. Andrew is a worthless POS. Andrew is in the news lately. Gee, I wonder why. Who could be talking about Andrew? Oh, yes, me. Yeah, not only Andrew, but also, well, what am I talking about Andrew for? How about he took advantage of that young lady whose name is Virginia Guffrey when she was underage? And you know what? I used to be a teenager too, and I was attracted to teenage girls. But by the time I was 35, I was no longer attracted to teenage girls because I had my own kids. And, Andrew, what a worthless piece of, well, let's just get right back to his wife. His wife was in New York City the evening before 9/11. Her name's Sarah Ferguson. What was she doing there? Well, her husband wasn't with her. Oh, I forgot. A musician named Tricky, Tricky, was with her. And you never know. I mean, the world's such a confusing place. Maybe Tricky and Sarah were enjoying a trick. How's that for English language? Yeah, Jenny, what do you think about that?
I'm just laughing back here in the background.
Well,
I love it.
I'm laughing at all these people. They talk down to us. Andrew, you are not the son of Charles. You are the son of King Juan Carlos of Spain. So why don't you
Wait,
pack up
are
your
you
little
talking
boy?
real
Go
quick,
ahead.
Field? Are you talking about Andrew or are you talking about William? Because isn't William the son of Juan Carlos?
Yes, you're right. You're absolutely
Okay.
right.
So,
William is the son of Juan Carlos. And thank you for correcting me. Um, and
of
Harry
course.
is the son of James Hewitt, Hewitt. So when I say that the UK royals are a bunch of bastards, I'm right. Andrew was the son of Lord Porchester, who I call Porky. And but they're all bastards. None of them can prove who they are. The only way to do it was with DNA test, and they're not going to do that, are they? And the one royal that I respect is Princess Diana, and my heart breaks for her because she was tricked into marrying the guy with big ears and narrow set eyes and a complete idiot who is a serial pedophile named Charles. And Charles and his concubine, my choice of words, look it up, Concubine, concubine. Um, these people are sickening. And I hope that Donald Trump will elect me to be the governor of England when it becomes our 59th state or whatever it might be. The United Kingdom has been identified by Trump as a land and a wonderful nation that he'd like to liberate. Liberate from who? Liberate from the royals. They're a bunch of useless dipshits. And if anybody in the royal family doesn't like my mouth, invite me to come to England and I'll meet you at the Parliament building and we can just see where it goes from there. But England should have a very, very rich history, but they don't because they've been sidetracked by Nazis like Queen Elizabeth II and these bastards like Prince William and these doorknobs like Prince Andrew, who violated Virginia Guffey when she was underage. And, these people can object to my mouth, but they can also come over here and kiss my ass. And while they're over here, they can try to shut my mouth because my mouth speaks truth. And I don't like you, MFs. Leave children alone, leave underage girls alone, and don't think that you have the power to inseminate young ladies that are under 18, and you don't have the couth or the charisma to attract ladies that are over 18 because you're a bunch of useless dipshits. Sorry about that, Jenny. I guess I blew up.
No. You're good. No, a lot of great information, Field, and this is what people need to know because people don't know this stuff. So I appreciate that you continue to pounce on this stuff because the more repetitiveness we do, the more people are going to finally get it, that it gets sunk into their heads, right? So I appreciate that, Field. And everybody, Field is here every Monday. He gives us about 90 minutes of his time, and we went a little over today, but that's okay. John Baxter normally comes on Mondays too, everybody, but he's going to come on tomorrow. Watch for the time. It's still to be determined. And then we've got 3 shows on Wednesday. SGN On is back, everybody. So you'll want to tune in for that one. It will be here on Telegram, 5:30 Eastern Standard Time. We'll be on X for Silk at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then who else? Troy, everything XRP. He will be on here at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time on Wednesday. So with that, everybody, have a great day. I won't have any shows on Friday because I will be finally, I've been packing, for preparing for this move. So I will be actually in the process of moving out of here. So watch for the shows to resume on Monday of next week. So with that, everybody, have a great day. God bless you, Field. Thank you for being here. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
Yep, I'll be here whenever you want me. Thank you very much. God bless you, Jenny.
All right. Thanks, Phil. We'll talk to you soon. God bless everybody. Have a great day.
Bye-bye.